Okay, so I have a few notes that I want to share. Let's start first with a short meditation. Hmm. In reverence to the great goddess Mahashakti, Durgha, Mahadevi, I bow to thee as the protector, the fierce warrior, the strength giver of all beings. Guide us under thine wing, close to you always. Create in us the possibility to awaken with your presence, to understand you as the infinite manifest. Jai Ma Durga. So this is our second day of the Navaratri. And it's really our third talk, I guess, because we had an intro talk about what Navaratri is, and how the kind of this retreat or festival, it's a so-called retreat because in India it's actually called more of a festival, but we do it more kind of a retreat style in our lineage because there is a lot of meditation and yeah, we can't really have any festivities here because our neighbor is very fussy and yelled at us yesterday when we were trying to do some chanting. So anyway, it is what it is. The introspective path is also as well very important. So we talked about Navaratri, and then yesterday we talked about the 10 cosmic powers and how these 10 energies of the goddess are contained within Durga. So Durga is actually a really important goddess in Tantra. Now, often when and we mentioned this a little bit yesterday, but I'll reiterate, when we work with Tantra, we could meditate and ask for blessings in all areas of our life on the great universal oneness of the merging of Shiva Shakti, of consciousness and of manifest, of the unmanifest and the manifest together. And we could ask for blessings for that. But then Tantra works to try to pinpoint exactly what sort of blessing do you need? What sort of blessing do you want? Is it something for mundane? Is it spiritual? If it's spiritual, what aspect of spirituality? Because of course the end is perhaps arguably that union of Shiva Shakti, of the union of these energies within our own being. But but there's steps that we take to get there, such as awakening, such as purifying, awakening Kundalini, and building Shakti, building um, Kundalini Shakti, as she's named, and then eventually uniting with Shiva, with consciousness, and merging into that. So Tantra works to pinpoint exactly where we want to put the energy. And for most of us, actually, we need something in our life anyway, like money or romance or better relationship with our family or this or that. We need these things in our lives. So so then Tantra acts to actually pinpoint exactly those things rather than just a general prayer. It's kind of like if we want to get something done in our government. Let's say that we want our sidewalk fixed. We don't go to the Prime Minister, in Canada anyway. We don't go to the Prime Minister. We don't ask Mr. Trudeau, please fix my sidewalk. Who would you go to? Well, you could think, okay, well, maybe I go to my MP. What would the MP do? The MP would refer you to your MLA, to the provincial person. The provincial person would refer you to the municipality, and then you'd be referred to your mayor, or maybe even somebody who works for the mayor to get something like this done. So it's the same sort of thing, that there's kind of like, it's not a hierarchy by any means, but if we want to pinpoint exactly the thing that we want to work on, then we have to filter through all the other energies to reach just that one energy. And just like if you have an argument with your brother or your sister, you don't go to your grandfather, you go to your sister, you go to the person, or your brother, you go to the person who has the problem, or who deals with that thing. And you wouldn't go to your grandfather, who would talk to his wife, your grandma, who would talk to your mom, who would talk to whoever, to eventually come to your sister. So yeah, this is kind of how Tantra is seeing the energies, and why we will tend to pinpoint into things. So Maha Durga is kind of like this, general Maha Shakti, this this great being who brings blessings in all areas of our lives, because she can also, we have access. Usually we wouldn't have access to Maha Durga, but we would have access to Ma Durga to talk to Kali, or to talk to Tripura Sundari, or to talk to why not the being who's directly related to the relationship with your brother or sister, to help to harmonize that. So it's a very special time that we have here in working with Durga, and really these days we have to, as much as possible, really have a lot of gratitude for what she brings, and be present in the days. Navaratri can sometimes feel like it drags on, because it's kind of intense. Like the first day that we had, the first, or was it yesterday? Was yesterday the first day? Mm-hmm. Yesterday was the first day. It already feels like it's been a while. So yeah, yesterday felt like we were at Guruji's place. We came here at 8, and we had this long process. Might have had a couple of hours break, and then Kailaji and I also meditated until close to 11. So it was like this full day, and it felt like this because we had to do a lot of things yesterday, and getting the yantra prepared, and meditations and everything. So anyways, we're kind of more in a flow now, and we can work with that. So who is Durga? Durga as I've said, is considered to be Mahadevi or Mahashakti. She's the ruler. Even Kali, sometimes Durga and Kali are mixed up, but Kali is said to come out of the third eye of Durga, of Ma Durga. So even Kali is kind of like secondary, is kind of like maybe the prime minister of of Durga or something. Um, Durga is associated with protection, strength, motherhood, destruction as well. And the destruction is there to make room for change. So to move those things that are blocking us from moving forward is the energy of Durga. So there's a story about Durga that I'd like to read to you, and this is the story as our lineage sees it, or as our Guruji sees Durga. And there's slight differences in the stories as the different traditions are in India. So the story goes that there was a demigod named sorry, Mahish Asura, who is a sort of demigod who did a lot of austere sadhana. So he did tapas, and he did, as it said, 1,000 years of tapas. So he read the shastras and said, if you do 1,000 years of tapas, 1,000 years of meditation or whatever practices he was doing, if you do 1,000 years of this, then you will get a boon from Brahma. And so he did this austere sadhana, and as a result was given this boon by Brahma, the creator. And the boon was the power, sorry, this wasn't written by an English speaker, so I have to. He gained the power that no immortal being, or that he couldn't be slain by any mortal being or immortal being, or slain by any man. Especially that was the point, as slain by any man, beast, asura, god in the universe. So Mahishasura's request boon, however, did not include women or the goddess, since he excluded the feminine, considering her weak and dependent upon the masculine. So this is a common story that comes up in religious mythologies and things, like the feminine isn't even considered in the mythology because they're often considered weak. But it's not the case in India, although at some point in India it probably was, which is how this mythology came about. And so this is just a mythology that points us towards. So this is just a mythology that points us towards the energy of Durga. So the powers he acquired through this boon enabled him to dominate the world, and gods were helpless against him, against their powers, spells, or weapons obsolete. So he was said even to go into the heavens and to fight the Gandharvas, the celestial musicians. He was killing them. He was causing a lot of havoc. And so the Gandharvas came to Vishnu and said, Vishnu, please help us with this. This Mahishasura, this demigod, is destroying the heavens. How can he possibly have the power? So Vishnu went to Brahma and he said, what happened? How did he gain this power? And Brahma said, well, he did his tapas. He has to gain this power. I had no choice but to give it to him. And Vishnu was like, oh, Brahma, again, you make this big mistake. Brahma is the creator in the Hindu Trinity of Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. He's the creator, and he's always blamed for all of the world's problems because he creates the problems. Anyway, he's versus Vishnu, who brings peace and quietude and all of this, and Shiva is the destroyer, destroys. So then Vishnu goes to Shiva and asks, you're almighty and you're all powerful, you're Mahashvara, that you're the great deity. Please do something because he's destroying the heavens and he's causing a lot of havoc. And Shiva says, I'm sorry, I can't do anything. I've already tried. I can't do anything because um, only like maybe Mahishasura will just destroy everything. But then Mahashakti steps forward and says, because his wish or his boon included only men or the masculine in this, it didn't include the feminine or or Mahashakti. So she manifested herself as the magnificent Durga and was charged as Mahadurga with many weapons: thunder that strikes, beauty that allures, a void that absorbs. So Mahishasura, the demigod, ultimately meets his slayer as the god, as the warrior, the goddess Durga. Durga is the power of protection. And as Mahashakti, Durga comes in 9 different forms. Nava Nava again means 9. Navaratri, the 9 nights of Shiva, or sorry, the 9 nights of Durga. Nava is carrying different weapons. So she actually has 9 different forms. And so she's depicted in 9 different ways. Durga carries out of her protective power she's a demon slayer, beauty, courage, mother, and more. So each of these 9 nights actually are referred to one of these aspects of Mahadurga. And it's actually very beautiful. And I would like to, I can brush through them right now, what these 9 nights are. But I would like to, every night as the night comes around, to talk about what that day was, what the day brought, and see if there's any synchronicities with this. As well, although we recommended during sadhana to wear red, you could also wear different colors during this Navaratri, this specific Navaratri, and I'll also mention those. And you could also try to wear this color in your everyday life too, as you walk around.
To signify the different aspects.
Yeah, to signify the different aspects, exactly. So you'll also recognize these names because we said all these names in our Pranapatista. So someone asked why there were 12. Well, the first 2 were Ganesha and Shiva. Shiva is Durga's wife, and Ganesha is Shiva's son, just throwing in there just in case. And then there's Ma Durga, so the whole of Mahashakti, and then we have the ones that came after, and they're probably not all in the same order, and yeah, they're not all in the same order, but they should all be here. So day 1 was dedicated to Shalaputri, and this is the mountain's daughter. So this was kind of yesterday, but it was also today as well, because the titis, the phases of the moon, they're not like from midnight to midnight. There's some like 22 and a half hours long, so they shift and change each time. But Shalputri is known as the mountain's daughter, and I'll talk more about Shalputri in a bit and her importance. And her color is white. Day 2 is Brahmacharini, and she's the goddess of devotion. Devotion and penance. So penance being austerities. So devotion and austerities. Day 3, Chandraganta. She's the destroyer of demons, both internal and external, in royal blue. So you can also see if there's things in your own life that you wish to kind of influence or bring forward more or awaken inside, then you can try to place a little bit more emphasis on that day. So the destroyer of demons. So of course, when we talk about this story with Mahishasura and her dispelling demons, this was the goddesses Chandraganta, destroyer of demons, internal and external. So what is an internal demon? Something which kind of you're obsessed with, something which brings up negativity inside of you all the time, or things that you want to let go of, but like let's say a desire that no longer serves you, even though desire is not a bad thing, and also that thing isn't a bad thing, but you would like it to not be in your life anymore. Let's say a simple one, which I don't think affects anyone here, but let's say smoking. Like smoking's not really good for anything. Maybe it provides some relief for stress or something like this, but it's bad for your health and all the rest. So Chandraganta would be good in helping destroy the demon of addiction to smoking. So addictions and all of these things. And also possibly external demons as well, which happen, but not very often. And this is the color of royal blue. Royal blue is this color. Day 4 is Kushmunda. And she's known as Adi Shakti. Adi Shakti is the creator of the universe, and she's in yellow. So she creates the universe. So at some point, there is in Hinduism the Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva, this trinity, creator, preserver, and destroyer. At the same time, parallel to that philosophy and understanding is the philosophy coming through Tantra. And the philosophy of Tantra is that of Shiva Shakti. Shiva is consciousness and Shakti is the manifest. And so Shakti manifests in some way. Shakti creates in some way as well. Shakti also destroys at the same time. Whereas this energy of Shiva, of consciousness, which actually isn't really an energy because it's kind of an unmanifested potential of that energy. And so we have these two parts. So in order to get clear in the mind and not get too confused by all of the different stories and traditions in India, it's really good to like know where that story is coming from and where that philosophy is coming from, because one is Hindu and one is more tantric, even though they're both understood in Hinduism as well, that Shakti is the manifest and Shiva is the unmanifest and all the rest. The next one, day 5, is known as Skandamata, the goddess of motherhood and children, and that's in green. So Durga as well is kind of the protector as the nurturing mother, as that birth parent, the mother who looks out for us and protects us. So that color is green. Katyayani, she's the goddess of power, the warrior, and that's the color of gray. And actually, now that I say it, we still dress in red for our sadhana, but in our everyday life, we can try to dress in these different colors. So the goddess of power, of the warrior. So a really important one if you need more of this sort of warrior type energy. Kalratri, the destroyer of darkness. Destroyer of darkness. So the destroyer of the darkness in our life. And that's in orange. Mahagauri of the energy of beauty. And that's in turquoise. and Siddhi Mahashakti, the goddess of cities and austerity and cities and perfection. And so this is in pink. And so we can see that that she it provides actually quite a complete picture of the goddess, of Shakti, of um, of the universal manifest in some ways, and it's very beautiful. And it's also in parallel as well to the 10 cosmic powers that we talked about yesterday. It's not like the first one uh, is related to Kali or something like that. It does, although we could see maybe some of them aligning, some of the cosmic powers aligning with these 9 different forms of Durga. But we could say rather that the 10 cosmic powers um, are birthed, not from the womb or something like that, but come from Durga, whereas these 9 forms are the 9 different ways in which she can manifest. And so in the tantric process that we do for Durga, we are connecting with the material and the spiritual. So it's the material is the yantra and the spiritual is Durga, and Durga being incarnate in or invoked into the yantra, not incarnate, but invoked, and all aspects here of Durga, of these 9 forms of Durga, and the 10 Mahavidyas are being evoked at the same time, or sorry, invoked at the same time. So, kind of to finish, and we can, of course, have Q&A after or something, but I'll talk about Shalputri. So Shalputri is the first day of Navaratri. And it's a really important day, especially for people who want to be initiated into the Shakta mantras and into Shakti Tantra. Shakti Tantra again is the path of the goddess in Tantra versus the counterpart of Shaiva Tantra, which is mainly focusing on Shiva. And Guruji has never said that what we're doing is Shakta Tantra nor Shaiva Tantra, but a merging of the two. That we first work with Shakti and then we work with Shiva, so that they're both involved in the Tantra that we do, and she's also the daughter of Mount Kailash, daughter of the mountain, the daughter of Shiva. Shiva is said to be, in some mythologies, Shiva is said to be Mount Kailash. So she's actually the daughter of our little baby, somehow. Somehow. And she's also said to be the physical consciousness. So Shalputri is the physical consciousness, the consciousness, the manifestation of earth, what is apparent on earth, like the hills, the streams, the lakes, the rivers, the vales, the mountains, and all of this. So she's a manifestation of the oceans, the seas, and also even the atmosphere. She is as well Parvati, the husband of Shiva, the daughter of King Hemavana, and King Hemavana is the king of, who is said to be the king of the mountain, the king of Mount Kailash, as it's described in the Shiva Purana. And her abode is actually Muladhara Chakra, the divine latent energy in all beings. So actually, it's like this first day helps to start to kind of Shalputri actually starts to help to awaken Muladhara Chakra to start to move that energy forward. So that's Shalputri. And I'll read finally a verse to Shalputri to kind of finish this talk and open up for questions. Vande Vachitta Labhaya Chandra Darda Krita Shakaram Visharudam Shuladaram Shailaputrim Yashasvinim. I pay my obeisance to Devi Shalputri, who bestows upon the choicest boons to the devotees. The moon is the crescent form, in the crescent form, is adorned as on the crown of her forehead. She is mounted on the bull. She holds a lance in her hand. She is Yashasvini. Yashasvini. Mm. Why don't I'd like to show you a picture of Shalputri. I think I pulled one up here. So that's the image of Shalputri. So there's similarities with her and Shiva, because she's Ma Parvati. So Shiva carries a trident, travels on the bull, has a crescent moon on on his head, and likewise so does Shalputri. Good.
Can't find the camera.
Yeah.
Put in that.
Okay. Bye everybody. Hariom.